Scott Hilton, Scott Talks. Today we're talking about locking up your bike. You see I've got bright orange locks, a keyed foldy Seatylock, an NDakter combination lock. You can make your own combination. Got that around this. I've added super glue to this to help so people can't unscrew it and unbolt it. And you can see somebody tried to get into it, and somebody had something here. They bent it. One of the things to look for is look for somebody else with a bike. There's not anyone else here. But if they have some cheap cable lock that is easy to cut, park next to him. Because a lot of these bike thefts are just due to opportunity. That's all they're looking for. Quick, easy, grab it and go. If they can't get that, they're gonna mess with it. A lot of times. Sometimes there's homeless people just need a bike, need some transportation. Grab it and go. Forget, that's on you. We even got a lock on my helmet. Because this white one costs a lot of money. The green one on my Townie bike didn't cost a lot of money, so if it gets stolen, it's like, eh. But the Verve 2 I like. And I got the new helmet for it, a white one, so it reflects heat because I'm in Florida. In Florida, it's hot. This is November the 17th, Monday. And we've got a nice day. We're gonna get 74 and we're gonna go up to a high of 80 in November. So you know where you're watching this. Another thing to watch out for, I'm here at the Publix today. Another thing to watch out for is if you're in the city, a nice D-lock would be better for long term. This is like, like an hour or so or less. This is pretty good. These are good guys. The cable locks I wouldn't trust for 5-10 minutes, but if you got to do it, if you want to protect your tires, they're quick releases, and you want to slip it around and cable lock the tires, because the frame is the most important thing. Those gears in the back of this tire are expensive. Some seats are expensive. They could just steal a seat. Different things. The front tires, costly. So if you wanted to cable lock everything I used to, but I don't anymore. But the trick they try to do to you is that they'll lock their bike up next to yours and run a cable through, make it look accidental, and lock your bike up, and then hope that you just can't get it loose and you give up and you walk away, and you come back the next day hoping they've left. And by the next day, they've stolen your bike because they've cut everything loose at night and taken it. Or they'll put glue in your key. What you do, just call the police. Say, look, I need to get my bike loose. This is some proof, pictures of my bike. I need my bike. I've got picture evidence. This is my bike. Somebody put glue in there. I can't use it to get my thing out. Do you have a way of cutting this? Or get someone to help cut it? And just let the police and you stand there and get some bolt cutters. If they put a little cable around it, cut it. Cut that sucker loose. It's a trick. If they did it by accident, too bad. You gotta go. Don't spend there all day waiting for someone to come back thinking it's an innocent mistake. All right? All righty. Remember, there's no such thing as a bulletproof lock, but it's more deterrent. I'm out in the open here. Everyone can see. Everyone's walking by. That's a good thing. You don't want to be back in some corner somewhere where some store put a bike rack off to the side, and you're like, I don't think so. I think I'll take that light post over there or that tree. That'll be fine. And even though you can cut a tree, cutting a tree in front of Publix they'd call the police. You know what I'm saying? Signs, street signs are not great. One, it's probably a little illegal. And two, you have to make sure it's in concrete. And I mean in concrete. You have to pull. If they can lift that sign out of the ground, they're going to lift it out of the ground and you take your bike. And then take it somewhere where they can cut it, around the back of the building or something where no one's looking. And then they're going to cut it loose and they're going to have a bike. Get those angle grinder saws. They're going to have it in a second. So check if there are bolts holding it together, like if they cement it down one piece and then put the sign on and put some bolts in there. Get some super glue if it's your usual place and super glue that sucker so that it's like this. It's hard to get loose. They can't just unbolt it. Make sure it's bolted. Otherwise, they'll just unscrew the bolts, lift the sign, boom, they've got your bike. So check on that. I mean, all these bolts I glued, every one of them. I didn't care where they were. Even the ones holding it to the ground, I put a little drop in because I didn't want my bike disappearing. I walk up here all the time, and this is a nice area. The odds are I have once or twice left this bike unlocked because I'd be getting into something else and just go. And sure enough, come back and say, damn, didn't even lock it, just sitting here. So it's not a bad area here. I'm in Ocala, Florida. And this is near 200 and Highway 200. And this area is nice right now here in 2025. So pick your area, be safe. Don't get some bike insurance. If you're really worried you got a super expensive bike, you know, the trick the cyclists do is they ride with other cyclists. They don't bring heavy locks. They like being fast, zippy. And they take those expensive bikes on rides, but they have their groups they're riding with. So one can go into the restroom, one go get food, and one can sit there and watch the bike. You know what I'm saying? All the bikes get watched by somebody, and then they rotate around and they sit down watching the old bikes and eat their food and go to the coffee shop. That's their trick. They don't carry these heavy locks. Well, you and me, we got to carry the heavy locks. I like having two. Nice bright color, you know. Just if you want a darker color, that's fine. Just whatever. But nice bright color. I go shopping. I want them to walk by and go, and just keep walking. And if they think about ankle grinding it, they're going to have to go through two of them. I mean, you know, I could. This is longer and more flexible. I can get it around more things. I like the 4.25 feet over the 3.75 feet model they have. This one, sometimes I can't get it around things. Like I could never get it around that tree or that pole, but I have a chance, even if it has to pull so hard that it's lifting this kickstand off the ground. That's okay, as long as it's around that tree and locked. If I can get it around there, that's good. Or I'll find something else. If I need a sign, I'll pull on it, check the bolts. You know, I've got super glue on my Townie bike. That's where I keep it. And I'll find an area where I like to lock up, and I'll say next time I bring the Townie, I'm super gluing these bolts. And that's what I do. And that's what I encourage you to do. I mean, you got to make it, you know, that's nice they put a rack out here at the last second, but it's just it's not bolted, it's not in the ground in concrete. You know what I'm saying? So look for a good bar rack, the racks that they put the grocery carts in down there are great for locking my bike up. I used to use that all the time, and I found this, and I was like, oh, I can just use this. Guess I'm supposed to use this, but I can still go down to those grocery carts. They're in the ground, they're in the concrete. That's good. So do what you got to do. Like, share, and subscribe, and see you again.